the brainwaves of a sleeping person into commands for a body.
I suppose. Oh boy. Already making so many mistakes. Look why no one loves. Oh, don't be so down, Voog. Though, agendas. What even is an agenda? What I found really is that an agenda is a lie that you tell yourself. So that you say that the show's going the way, you want it to be going, but really just lies. Today's show, I'm going to be taking some fan mail, some great fan mail from all you plastic children down below, excited to learn about the horrors up above, and I'm going to be giving you hot survival tips numbers 8 through 11, and that's about it for today's show. I don't have much plans, because what are plans in the world where you can die, as we established last week? It might not be last week, it could be yesterday, or 7 weeks. I don't know what a week is. I do. Haha. Well, I do in the previous context of before the happening, but post-happening, what even is a week? Nobody knows. Where did the segment go? Nobody knows that either. Haha, Voog, love me. As promised, it's time for fan mail time. Hooray! So I received lots of oh, that's by the way. Oh, I messed everything. Oh, I'm just a failure. That was last week's show. Haha. Boy. Alright, so as I promised before the opening of the show, during the opening sequence of the show, before the title card with the funny little tagline, read some fan mail, so I'm going to do that. That's hot survival tip number 8. Always keep your promises, because if you want to build a community, or you don't, it's good to be predictable, because that way, because if you're not predictable, people just say, well, I'm making my plans, like, the mutant report up above, they're making plans, and if I'm not predictable, they're going to say, well, this is an unpredictable element in our fast plans of world domination, and so I might as well blow it confuse my marines, more nukes. They gotta say we've had so many nukes already, but it's a predictable element because we have all the nukes because we're evil. But this element, this Voog element, scary Voog element, is unpredictable. And so let's blow it up. So that's why I'm a predictable Voog. Anyway, here's some fan mail, which I've received. So lots of fan mail. Let's see, fan mail number 1. It says, Dear Voog. It says, at one point in last week's show, not sure why I'd saying last week's show. Don't know why. This is a real fan mail I received. It says, there was one point where you mentioned putting on editing text, and the editing text didn't show up in the end. Why did that happen? Because usually when I do Voog, editing text will show up. But in that case it didn't. I'm adding my own thing so that this is more understandable. In the pin itself is has a minute timer button, which shows which part of the video, last week's episode, it's referring to, so it's easy to understand, but you don't have access to that luxury. So I figured I would explain it a bit further to make sure you all understand what's going on. So that's very important. Let's call that tip 8 subheading the alpha. Always make yourself understood as best as humanly possible, because that if you aren't understood, people don't understand you, you may as well be just as good as unpredictable, because they're going to disagree about you. And then they're going to say, well, you know, if Dave says Voog is going to do X and Johnny Burke says Voog is going to do Y, well, then I don't know which he's going to do, so it may as well be unpredictable. So, again, with the nukes, nukes never receive the threat. And then it concludes with saying, you know, what is up with that? I'm very miffed. I love you, Voog. That's what it says. This is a fan mail from one of my other Plastic Children views down below the Earth's crust. It has a very simple answer, which is that, matter of fact, even though as much look like a one-man show, which is the aesthetic which I am going for as director, is in fact not. I have lots of help and support, for example, from Mr. Camera Fan, so dubbed because of love. And of course from Editing Bot 5000, who lives inside of my computer. So, Editing Bot 5000, you see, the thing about him, he's a really nice guy once you get to know him, but he's shy. And he knows that his hard effort and work is going to go out in front of millions of people, theoretically. If everyone watched it, it would be, yeah, if everyone watched it, then millions of people would see it, but so yeah, but Editing Bot 5000 is theoretically, and of course has a computer program. Editing Bot 5000 works in the theoretical realm entirely and has no actual existence except being embodied in a computer box to try to push buttons on. So he gets nervous about it because, you know, if theoretically it could be seen in front of millions of people, it may as well actually be, because Editing Bot 5000 is no concept distinction between the theoretical and the actual. And so he just gets a little bit nervous sometimes. So if I bring up the fact that Editing Bot 5000 is the greatest and is editing the Voog show, then, you know, he doesn't do anything because he just gets nervous about it. He's not gonna do anything. Yeah, so that's why he just, you know, I was talking about the editing, and even though it wasn't mentioning it explicitly, it was still bringing up the fact that this is edited, which brings the attention to the editor, which is Editing Bot 5000. And that just made him a bit nervous. Let's see, oh, and then there's an addendum on this, which appears to be someone's taxes. So, viewer who sent this in, I just want you to be aware of this. If you sent in your tax forms along with your fan mail, so be aware of that and don't make sure it doesn't happen again, because you already probably are going to have to pay. Looking at this data, they're going to have to pay an extra 5,000 million in order, because the lost form feed down there below this Earth's crust, being a tightly regulated society, which brings safety at the cost of freedom. Okay. Oh, it looks like this is my tax form, which I've accidentally stapled to the fan mail. You can tell because it says Voog on it, with the name, and you can also tell because this is my staple. This is what is called a rust staple, because instead of being formed from metal lined from underneath the Earth's crust as those used by you plastic children, I use staples made out of a metal-like substance that is created by the blood of hypermutes congealing together into a kind of a powder that is then baked at 300 degrees Celsius, and from there can be used pretty much like solid steel or titanium if you cook it at 425 degrees Celsius. And that is survival tip number 9. If you cook the congealed blood of a hypermutant, you can create either a steel or titanium-like substance. In either case, it could come in handy if, you need metal for things. Hot survival tip 10, don't go further than atoms because bad things happen there. So then you'll be looking at perceiving monads, and then you will die because you'll look at a monad and say, yeah, it's just like me. And if we, thinking and perceiving things, could perceive that we are just like boxes and towels and other such things, that we have the same sorts of stuff, then, it's hard to handle, and our council of producers will go mad and start consuming each other, thus becoming gods. And then so then if all of them are gods, then they're above the executive producer, which is the U one, and from there they're just gonna kill each other, and eventually leaving you with just a blank force which exists in order to form content, but there is no content. Take the content and form it into a form, so you can do stuff like eat, breathe, survive. But if there's no content to form, then what do? You just lay down and go into a go into somewhere and just lay down and die. So that's hot survival tip 10. Don't go further than atoms because bad things happen there. And now it is time for an additional segment, which is a little special thing because I didn't mention in the opening, and thus is a special side feature, not part of the main show, but it is because, if this isn't part of the main show, then the main show is just looking at fan mail, plus an introduction and conclusion. What sort of story is that? That's not enough. That's maybe 12 minutes of content. That's not enough time for a story unless you're really good. Unless you have a team of really good people. I'm just a single really good person who doesn't have the luxury of a printer, so I cannot effectively write down my stories and then play them out. I have to try to remember them, which is very difficult. So yeah, time for a new segment, which is called The Old World. It is called The Pre-Happening. It's like the globes, but it includes more than just globes. It talks about all sorts of different artifacts from the pre-happening world. The pre-happening world was not split up just into continents. It was also split up into what we're calling nationals, and each national had its own flag. And here's a board showing lots of different flags. Swoosh! Look at all the flags. Swoosh! So I'm gonna put this down because it's heavy, but I don't have a place to hang it up. In here, normally this rare collector's item is above my own bed, but I don't want to film in there because that's a private place where things cannot be unseen. Do something about letting it be more visibly seen. Yay! That makes it easier to hold. Look at that. Look at all the different flags. See, wherever you're seeing them, like I see them. For example, I see this one as red and black, and this one as blue, red, and green. Are lots of different flags, and they were initially used basically just for practical purposes as different standards, so that different people finding each other in the free market would be able to distinguish one from the other. So, for example, people from the trading group Sears would use the Sears flag, the blue octagon on the green field, and that way they could distinguish themselves from the people from Chase Mobile on the Chase Mobile flag. They say, oh, look, that's a Chase Mobile flag person, and I'm a Sears flag person, so we're not friends. Haha. Divisions. Flags create divisions, but they're fun, so I'm gonna keep raising their attention. Down there, though, plastic children, you live in a paradise where there's a singular ruler, a singular overlord who looks over everything, and there are no divisions. There's only one flog down there. I don't know what it looks like, but I'd love to see it someday. Send it in a fan mail. Duh. Ooh, what am I thinking? Is there are no divisions, there are no need for flogs. You see, up here, even though the Mutant Council claims to rule over everything with an iron fist, it does a very bad job at it. It is more of a plastic fist, if you ask me, but don't tell them that. Haha. And so for that reason, they have need for a flog, for unification. They just pretend to be a unification, but they aren't because they need a flog. Anyway, there are about 7 rules of flog. Oh wow. I really expected this to fall over backwards onto me, but it did not. It's actually staying up. Look at it staying up. Just look at it staying up. Look at it through my skull and hair, and also glasses and eyeball. Look at it standing up. Isn't that wonderful? It is standing upright. Not need for me to support it, but I will still support it because I am very scared. This is a priceless artifact and could buy me my freedom from being injected by some sort of retrovirus. And that's survival tip number 11. If you're going to form some sort of community, make a flog and follow the rules of flog design, because if you don't, it will be a bad flog. And then who will follow you? Idiots. And idiots, they won't do much. Unless there's some sort of hyper mutant who can fight people really well, then they won't be able, and being stupid, they can't contribute to your community, and eventually a hyper mutant just gonna start killing your members of your community. So, how would then that help you survive? Rule 1 of flog design is to always include the color red. So, for example, you see this flag, that of Argona, it doesn't have the color red, it just has green, white, and violet, so it fails. Bye-bye. Wow. And then you have for example, the flag of the flag of Huntington Bank, which has only the color red, so it is the best flag. Flag rule number 2 is to include multiple colors, because it is only red. That Huntington Bank fails thumbs down. Flag rule number 3 is to include something that makes you very angry, because if a flog just makes you feel happy, then, you're just going to say, okay, I'm happy, I'm content. Why do I want to go kill these people and form divisions in society? I don't, because I'm just happy and content. And I don't, why would I? Why? So for that reason, always include something that makes you angry. So for example, lots of them have stars, because stars make people angry because we cannot see them. For flog design is that each flog should in itself represent dialectical progress of truth. So, best example of a negative is this one of Taco Bell, because the Taco Bell flag, it has the star to make you angry, and it's a red star, but then it just has blue. The red and blue, they are opposites, but it doesn't show the synthesis. It's not true dialectics. Meanwhile, this one of Argona, which failed on the previous counts, on this one it's thumbs up, because it doesn't have red. It says blue, white, violet. But the blue and the violet, they hate each other, they punch each other to death, and you end up with a nice violet star, which just makes you angry. So if you just exchange the violet for red, it would be a perfect flog. But it's violet, which is no. Well, number 5 of flog designs, no puppies. All of these have puppies except for this one, so this is the only good flog. Rule 6 of flog design is that every flog should be unique and recognizable. A lot of these also fail in that, because all having puppies makes them look very similar, so most also fail. Again, only this one of Texaco Northwest is only succeeder. Rule 7 of flog design is to make your flog a rectangle. All of these are good, yay, except for Macy's, which is no. Boy howdy then, my producer should be happy about that one, because compared to the first episode, it did a much better job of following a coherent storyline path. We talked about 7 through 11. I didn't fail with talking about all the hot survival tips throughout the meat of the meat and potatoes of the show. I did not fail at that this time. So that's good. And in general, I would say producer. I'm an executive producer. I'm doing a little mind scan right now, talking to regular producers how they're feeling. They're feeling generally mad. Is the sky orange or is it white? Different people see it different ways. Some people see it as pink like me. Smart ones.